Hey everybody, welcome back to Northernlion Plays the Binding of Isaac Afterbirth Plus. We lost on the last run, but it's okay, because being in the new office is a win in and of itself. So let's experience the thrilleth of Lilith. VLW1, Othuk. As in, Othuk. We're not very good with Lilith. See, it's wordplay, it's dense, Shakespearean, eloquent, poetic license has not been revoked. Etc., etc. You know what's weird? I really do dislike puns for the most part, but I think I don't dislike puns as a medium. I just dislike that almost all of them tend to be pretty awful and like really shoehorned and etc., etc. You know, it's like when somebody says they don't like action movies. I don't believe that. For most people. I think that what the reality of this situation is, you know, there are a lot of truly, absolutely terrible action movies. And especially, like, when I was growing up, I feel like there was, like, a golden age in the 70s and 80s for action movies. In the 90s, I'm not going to say that there were none that were good. But rather that, you know, in the 90s and 2000s, there was also a lot of schlock. Like, if you ask people what their favorite action movie, you know, like, let's say Hollywood action movie at least. For, like, 10 years, the #1 answer probably would have been, like, Triple X starring Vin Diesel. It's that easy. Anyway. The puns that I see on Twitter are always just absolutely awful. It's like a question that nobody would ever ask, you know? What's a dentist's favorite kind of fish? A cavity. And then you're like, that's not funny. And they're like, why are you being so mean to me right now? You know, Shakespeare was a wordsmith. Shakespeare liked puns. Yeah, well, Shakespeare also said, brevity is the spirit of wit. And, your pun that you just tweeted, it had 9 setup tweets. Does that seem to be rich in brevity? As long as we're adhering to the central tenets of Shakes? Look, let people enjoy things. Well, okay, let me enjoy the fact that I don't enjoy your crappy puns. How do you feel about that, Boomer? Anyway, we're free. Grab it, get the heck out of town. The Boneheart is in a precarious position right now. That's okay. So far, so good. Rate of Fire is doing gangbusters, whatever the heck that means. I think it's just the easiest genre to do badly. Because the spirit of every pun is just, hey, these two words sound alike. Isn't that weird? That's what's got me... That's what's got me all tripped up. And it doesn't bother me that they're made. It bothers me that other people encourage people to make them. That's where when people are like, I like puns, I'm like, could you just be quiet about it? I'm joking, but at the same time, I'm like, because if you say you like puns, people are going to start to make them. Say what you will about Switzerland, but the flag's a big plus. See, I'm saying that joke, but ironically, though. You know what I mean? It's an ironic... You wouldn't understand. It's for 90s kids only. Let me in. I haven't been playing, and this, you know, because of the move, of course, but I haven't been playing much Isaac lately, and apart from the move, the main reason is that I've been playing Bumbo, and I'll just level with you. I haven't played it off camera much. But that's because we've been busy. But I've been playing a lot of it on camera because every run of that game is like over an hour long. It's crazy. Even like, I feel like, I'll take it. I feel like I'm playing relatively quickly now. And even still, when I finish a run, I look at the clock and I'm like, oh my god, that was an hour-long run. I'm not upset about it, because, like, I actually... Bumbo, let's be honest, you know, I had a bit of a rocky launch, especially from a bug standpoint, and I still do seem to encounter the odd bug, some of which are very frustrating. Like, just yesterday, you know, when you finish a floor in Bumbo, you get a chance to do a bunch of things at this casino, including you know, rolling a wheel that gives you a new stat point, which is really valuable. Just yesterday, spun the wheel. It hit a reward. Did not give me the reward. I guess we will not be taking that. And then took my money. I'm not going to say it ruined the whole run, but it does leave you in a bad position. It's like, hey, I finished high school. I just sent the college, you know, tuition for my first semester, and then the college goes out of business. It turns out it wasn't a college at all. Subway phones you up and goes, you know, Sandwich University's not a real place. And you go, oh no. I think we gotta take a little bit of a gamble on this one. At least I know where he is. But that's what we're looking for. I will say, on top of, like, you know, that notwithstanding, or with stranding, I've come around on Bumbo. I've been of a few different minds on that game so far, and I think I've hit the point where I'm like, it has problems that in my opinion at least, I don't know if just you know, patches will fix them. Like, I find myself constantly confused about the difficulty of the game. Most of my runs right now, and I have gotten like the hard mode on lock, but most of my runs, I'm like, the enemy never gets to act. And I know I'm not particularly good at Bumbo. So I'm kind of like, how is this happening? Like, the enemy never gets to take a turn. That seems not correct, but you know, maybe I just am that good. For the first time in forever, I've hit that point. I'm just joking. I know I'm not that good. But anyway, the point is, hold on. Hold the door. This is the right stuff for us right now. Starring Ed Harris. The other times when I lose, and I still lose like at least a third of my runs, what happens is either, you know, obviously it couldn't possibly be that the streamer's making some mistakes. What happens is either I misread an enemy and accidentally get them like locked into a position where there's nothing I can do, and you'll see that if you're making fun of me and you're like, there's nothing I can do, dude, ha 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 ha. You'll see an episode where there was nothing I could do. Or alternatively, everything's going fine and then just like, it really feels like there's a gulf in that game. Like in Isaac, you know, some rooms are easy, some rooms are hard, but the vast majority of rooms can hurt you, but are largely somewhere in the middle damage-wise, right? In Bumbo, I'm like, dude, depending on your run, some rooms you will just absolutely crap on, and the enemies stand no chance. That probably describes like at least 80% of the rooms in that game. I think we should reshuffle. I just want to... It might seem a bit wonky to reshuffle here after getting Goat Head, but we did also just get a deal with the devil. And we didn't re-roll Incubus, so that was my real question there. This is a pretty good setup here. I got no complaints. Except Tiny Bomb is a little weird, but... Careful. And the other 10% of the rooms is like, literally, your run is just not built for it and you just get destroyed. You know, like if you've built your entire run around doing puzzle damage and then you hit enemies that don't take puzzle damage, you're like, okay, well, fair enough. I guess that's what I get for letting my heart win. Oh. I don't know why it sounded like the NBC musical sting. Oh. I'm working on it, okay? The acoustics in this room, I can't not sing anymore. The stars at night are big and bright, yeah, deep in the heart of Vancouver. Tears down, how dare you first? That's what we want set up there. But, you know, so for all the time I've spent, you're probably like, wow, he really doesn't like Bumbo. No, quite the opposite. I actually think it's a really, really good game and a cool spin on the roguelite formula. Just in the same way that I'm like, you know, I wish people would make battle royales that are not exclusively first-person shooters. I'm like, dude, I'm glad people are making roguelites that are not just, you know, top-down dungeon crawlers or, you know, deck builders. I know Bumbo's been described as a deck builder, but I'm like, but it's not. Like it, you add spells to your inventory, but I wouldn't describe it as a deck builder. Not a pure deck builder, at least. Anyway, so I found myself enjoying it a surprising degree. But to be honest with you, I think part of the reason I enjoy it so much is because when you win, you just start steamrolling. So I think maybe right now it's like, you know, oh, my favorite restaurant? Whatever one you're paying for. You know what I mean? I'm not 100% sold on the idea that I like the game a lot because of its mechanics. Although I feel that in my soul. Yeah, that was dumb. I think there's a chance that part of my enjoyment with that game just is like, hey, I keep winning. But I will say, and I think I said this before, but I'm enjoying it a lot more than I thought I would. And that's not on me. Let me rephrase. It's a lot better than I thought it would be. Because I don't want to see... When you say, like, I'm enjoying it more than I thought I would, I don't know if anybody else reads into this level of conversation like I do. But to me, that if you read between the lines, it's almost like I get credit for having an open mind about this experience. Wow, I'm sure glad I gave it a shot. Because if it wasn't for my infinite wisdom in giving this game a shot, I would have deprived myself of so much enjoyment. That's... Look, again, I'm reading too much into my own language. But I think it's better to just say, you know, it's better than I thought it would be. Now, there is a reading between the lines on that one as well. This is how you know you become a master of communications. It's like jazz. It's about the words he doesn't say. Hold on. It's Steam sale. Let's reshuffle. Deep pockets. Sure, okay, whatever. We're going to D100 this like 20 times anyway. I didn't necessarily think Bumbo would be bad, but I've said it a couple of times, but I don't think it demoed super well at events because it's a pretty simple game once you're sitting down with it, but at allowed events where you're only supposed to take maybe like 10 to 15 minutes to play something, I was like, okay, you match things. When you match things, they deal damage. But then what are these things over here on the right side? Do they like, they have turn timers? You can use them once per turn? Like, it felt like I was just getting the spells randomly. And I know, like, not having played the game now, that seems ridiculous. You're like, the mechanics are so simple. But were it not for the tutorial kind of exhaustively walking you through it, you might feel differently, is all I'm going to say. So... No, I think it turned out even better than I thought it would be. It's a fun game that I like. I do like it. I like to, you know, there's games you like to play for YouTube, and then games you like to play for YouTube. I think that's in the both category, but for whatever reason, it's just a lot of fun to make videos of. I think because, you know, you feel like you're in control. The opposite of that is like, you know, a David Cage game during a QTE sequence where you're just like press square to not die. Although I like those two for different reasons. Bumbo is like the opposite. Like in Bumbo, you're piloting the freaking ship at all times. What an awful reroll we got there. I like that. I like being in control of every little... Like, I'm not a control freak in real life at all. What a terrible bit of damage. But, you know, for video stuff, I like to make decisions. Otherwise, I get bored. As soon as a game plays the ending music with a cutscene, I'm like, I'm out. I enjoyed the part where I get to do things. Now that you're trying to do something, whatever this is, I'm not interested. And that was the last time the realm of Acadia ever saw the Riders of the North. Hey, you got one stat point. Where would you like to put it? I'm awake. Real S. Just the kind of guy I am. I'm a mechanics man. I'm not like other gamers. I'm a mechanics gamer. I'm a core gamer. It's a real term. Look it up, sweetheart. But as you might expect, I am just a little bit anecdote bereft. I also gotta say, so we you know, this is only my second Isaac video recorded in this place, but we've been living here for 4 days now, something like that, full time at least. I miss my boys. Most of the time, Ruka and Tomo would record, or oh no, the secret's out. Most of the time, Ruka and Tomo would you know, be in my office while I'm recording. I think they like the sound of my voice, or maybe the temperature of my tiny office. Maybe I'm realizing now they didn't actually like me, they just liked my old office because it was so small. Now, they've got a lot more space. They don't come around as often. You know, Kate's office is closer to like the cat living space. Are we on a Dank Debs 1, okay. And, you know, they've got, like, their own space now because we're not in such a tiny place. They have the ability to just, you know, some days when they want to see us, they're like, hey, what's up? It's us, remember? And then some days, we're like, where are they? And then they're just kind of like, you know, sleeping under a piece of furniture out of earshot. I'm not actually hitting you with a Pepe handstand. We're still getting, you know, good feline time, but, like... It is now, it's like, where's my Ruka? Where's my Tomo? A lot less beating on the door. But you know what? Good for them. It's, you know, it's like empty carton syndrome. Normally it's a nest. We're going to call it a carton here because it's the whole egg thing. You wouldn't understand, sweetheart. It's branding, etc., etc. Please. You know, I'm gonna re-roll. It's not because I actually wanted to re-roll. It's just because I want to get to the, like, a D4 or D100 run that's really gonna knock my socks off. Because the run is fine, but it's a little underwhelming considering the inputs that we've had on it. You know what I mean? Like, if this was a default run and, like, we actually had the D12, we would be like, hey, 9 damage, lots of HP, pretty solid stuff. Instead, I'm like, you know, we got the D4, D100, D Infinity. I'm like, we should be absolutely steamrolling. But it's still early. Plenty of time. Yeah, you might hear a little less cat activity temporarily or permanently, semi-permanently. I don't know. You know, I'm not gonna go up there and rip my cats from the bosom of comfort. See, how's that for wordplay, you pun masters? It takes a little bit more acumen to just put 2 words together that sound nice. To find your own unique cellar door instead of, oh, what's a dentist's favorite time? 2:30. Upvotes to the right. That's foolish. Upvotes to the left. Why? A single hit will erase me from this mortal coil right now. Okay, well, we might as well pay 5 cents for credit card.
Credit card.
I think we like that. I think we like this. I think we just use this. I think we're really happy with that because then we can pick this up and we can grab this and we can use this. And we get the D20 again, which is not something I'm very interested in at all. I'd really just like to have the D4, the D100 again, if you do not mind. You gotta wait around. It could be a card. So I'm cognizant of the fact that there's an echo in the background. In the business, we call it reverb. I wouldn't expect you to know that as a layperson necessarily. But in the business, yes, we call it reverb. I'm positing some solutions. I think it sounds okay right now, but I want it to sound crisp. I want to sound like, if you're enjoying the podcast, please consider visiting our sponsor, ZipRecruiter. ZipRecruiter allows you to easily access thousands of resumes from the most qualified clients online in a snap. 88% of people that have used ZipRecruiter are happy with their experience and would recommend it to another hiring manager. Visit ZipRecruiter.ca/hardcorehistory. I want to get to that. I want to get to NPR levels of audio quality. But the thing is, you forget when you're moving. We've done the move, but now there's the other moving stuff. You got to change your address with every service you've ever had in your entire life. And that's the big one. You got to, that's basically it. I can't really complain. Mostly, to be honest, my wife has done at least 80% of the work. But I just get to feel like slightly self-righteous because I do the 20% that, she's not really capable of doing. So I get to be like, I'm so sore. I've lifted so many boxes. And she's like, well, this has basically been my full-time job for like October and November. And I'm like, yeah, but I lifted so many boxes. You could not possibly understand the hardship my body has gone through. Although I will say, there's room for a little of column A, a little of column B, okay? I'm very appreciative that she's done that, for sure. And the truth is, she's done the stuff that I'm incapable of doing as well. Like, I don't have the patience to go manually update my address through every service. Instead, what I would do is go to one website and be like, hey, somebody should make a service that automatically changes your address at all of these institutions. And then I would be like, trying to get startup funding for like the worst idea of all time. Call the website like Mover or something like that with 6 R's. Anyway, the point is, like last week, I didn't go to the gym. The first day I didn't go to the gym, I felt a little guilty. When I woke up the next day after moving, what felt like dozens of boxes, I was like, oh, I don't feel guilty at all. I feel incredibly grateful that I wasn't a dummy who was like, no, I have to work out. And then, I would wake up with no arms the next day. Or cursed arms. What does that even mean? Please. I'll take it. But I want to be able to use my D8 some more. There's a tinted rock, super tinted rock over there too. But, like today, this is my first day back in the gym in a week, and I was surprised, Normally people would take this as a little brag, okay? But it's not a brag, because I'm trying to gain weight right now. Not that I need to, but like I got another, 6 weeks left on my unofficial like pseudo bulk here before I start cutting down. My weight is like real consistent for the most part. It's slowly gaining, but for like a month I've been like 90, 90.2, 90.3, 90.1, 90.6, 91, 90.8, 91.1. You're just going up, but in a very narrow range. That's kilos, by the way. Yeah, that's why I say I don't have to gain too much more. Nosy. Today I went to the gym. I think we gotta take it, dude. I weighed myself, and it was like, bad news, brother. 89. And I was like, what? I didn't quite lose 2 kilos, and I understand, it's probably water weight. It's just, you didn't take creatine on one day, so you purged more of the more of the water from your muscle. But like, for somebody who's like, you could set your watch on, the number within a certain range that you would see, that was shocking to me. To see that 89 on there, it's not like necessarily a bad thing. But then once I started working out, maybe there's a little psychological placebo effect, but I was like, man, I'm tired. Has it always been this difficult? I think the move, it took a little bit of progress out of me, to be honest. We should definitely take this. So the thing is, I'm looking for more battery charges, because I'm trying to get to the D100. I mean, we could just roll this, but it would be nice if we got one. See what you get. I don't really know yet what we have. What I wanted to do was get us into a position...
Judgment.
Yeah, sure. Where we would be able to have more damage to use with Tammy's head, because I'm greedy in that sense. And it didn't really work, to be honest. If anything, I think we actually are in a worse position with respect to Tammy's head, so if you'll forgive me, I'm just gonna keep rolling with this. Admittedly, to be honest with you, at the time, I wasn't like that thrilled with the Tammy's head setup to begin with, but now I'm even less thrilled, and I feel like a darned fool. But I will say, lots of HP, not great killing power, and really, like, re-rolling BFF was not smart. We should have used the D100, then bought BFF, because it's always going to be a damage doubler. So we really shouldn't complain about the items that we have when we're making mistakes like that cost us, like, the same efficacy, more or less, as, like, a magic mushroom. But I like our Sun card, and really, like, with the D-Infinity, there's only one way to lose. The only way you can lose with the D-Infinity is, if you, like, roll yourself into just an absolutely awful combo. And it's the only way, like, don't let me be a gatekeeper necessarily, but it's the only way, like, a consistently good player is gonna lose. You know what I mean? Because all you gotta do is get the right D4, D100 roll. And, like, sure, in any situation, all you gotta do is get the right whatever. But this is like flipping a coin and getting heads. It's not like rolling a D100 and getting a 1. We'll say, damage output, pretty bad. Luckily, lots of HP to suck up here. 5 rate of fire, 5.5 damage. Not quite where we want to be right now, especially with an unreliable shot. But we've done it. Why does that reroll our stats every time? No, like, because it wasn't the D8, it was the D10. So what was what caused the roll there? I don't know. I honestly don't know. I was just gonna say, I don't really mind if we lose the deal with the devil. We probably should not be taking 2 damage on a room in which we use the card, but that's life, baby. Sometimes you use your most precious resource, and through a dereliction of good sense, it comes back to bite you in the butt. Okay, sure, plus 11 damage. Don't really know where that came from, but I mean, I know it was the D8, but, like, how did we get so much value out of it? Did we also just re-roll the whole run? Do we have, like, you know what? We might have re-rolled ourselves onto a battery or something, like a car battery, maybe. So we get 2 effects out of every spacebar press. Either way, I'll tell you. 3 rate of fire, 17 damage. I can keep my mouth shut in that sense. You know, you've given me enough happiness, I think, to feel pretty good. But yeah, you know, I was, you know, again, I get annoyed, and I should never, if you're a content creator online, you should never tell people what you get annoyed by, because they're just merciless. And it's not even, like, annoying, it's just unfunny. Like, I went on a rant the other day about people asking, like, stupid questions during stream. I don't mean, like, stupid questions like, you know, hey, what's he playing? Well, actually, that's kind of in the same boat. But it's like when I'm live, you get a question in chat sometimes that are like, is he going to stream today? And you're like, I'm already live. Just look at the screen. It's ridiculous. Since then, at least 500 times per stream, someone in chat will say, is he going live today? I've never reacted to it since the rant, but it's already too late. Everybody's a comedian. They're taking my own joke and trying to use it against me. I get that it's more of a form of camaraderie, but I'm like, you gotta work a little harder than that. I know you're not necessarily trying to troll me. But it's like if you get told something annoys someone, and then you do it to them, ironically or otherwise, it's kind of trolling. Even if you're like, but I'm trolling with a smile on my face. Anyway, the point is, I shouldn't even say it, okay? Wait, I don't even know where I was going with this. I nested my rant too deep. And now I don't know where I am. My anger is now, it's misdirected. I don't know where it was supposed to go. I was like, I shouldn't even tell you this because it annoys me, but blah, blah, blah. I don't remember. Nah, it doesn't. Yeah, whatever. It's all good. Just stay positive. Yeah, I'm just being honest. Boomer brain. It has disappeared from my mind. I gotta go back and watch the video now, figure out what it was. Oh, no. I do remember what it was. Okay. Sorry, it just takes a second sometime to reboot the brain, get back in that old thought pattern. I never bring up working out to be like, we get it, you work out. So when people reply and say, we get it, you work out, I do find it very annoying. I usually bring it up as like a metaphor for other stuff in life that is, you know, difficult but worth doing. You know, and in this case, and I know now, people, they say things to me as if like I haven't been on the internet before. They're like, now that you've said it, you've guaranteed yourself you're gonna get 50 tweets from people that say, we get it, you work out. And I guarantee you that with 100 clicks of my mouse, that will be 50 more people muted. I don't mute out of mean-spiritedness. I just mute judiciously for things that I find annoying, because otherwise Twitter would be unusable. Anyway, but, you know, I was like paranoid the week I didn't work out. And I think the thing is, most people would be like, oh, wow, like, oh, no, I haven't worked out for a week. Oh, whoa. But the thing is, you ever hear that little nugget of wisdom online, which is like, hey, one day your parents put you down and never picked you up again? That's also how literally everybody breaks every habit ever. You take time off from doing something, and everybody around you goes, it's just a day. It's just a week, you were moving, you're tired, you just didn't feel like it. Take a little mental reset, and then you feel guilty about it for like a few days, and then one of two things happens. You either, you know, go back to the gym, or whatever it is you were doing. You go log back on Duolingo, or, you know, etc., or the most dangerous part of all is you start to forget the fact that you were supposed to be doing it, you know? And then all of a sudden, that's very bad, because you don't even feel the guilt anymore. And when you don't feel the guilt, you no longer feel an extra compulsion to get back into it. So and this is, I mean, we're about 2 months away from a year's sustained progress on working out. I'm pretty proud of that. But one of the reasons that, like, I've been able to keep at it, I think, is just because I'm not very lenient on myself when it comes to days off with it, you know? Like, I have my rest days, and I stick to those, because otherwise, you know, all your body parts will explode simultaneously. But, like, apart from that, if I'm like, I'm not really feeling the gym today, okay, cool, you know? You think Granddad was feeling it when he was flying over war-torn Europe in a beaten-up old RAF Spitfighter? Probably not, you know? Or, I don't know, maybe he was, but either way, you still gotta do it. You know, just forcing yourself to do something that's worth doing that you don't want to do is good. I will accept controversy on that subject, just because on the internet there are people that are always looking to argue, and they'll be like, oh, so if I got into a horrible accident yesterday, I should feel guilty that I don't want to work out today? No, that's obviously not what I meant. That's just, I mean, ridiculous. Again, it's jazz. It's the words I don't say that you should be listening to. But you know, oh, NL, what boomer logic? He thinks it's a good thing when people feel guilty. Well, yeah, I think for a good reason. I think, you know, I think it's a good thing to feel guilty if you're skipping out on doing something that would benefit yourself. You can't turn that back on me. Like, oh, he wants me to be miserable, to feel bad for not working out. No, I just, you know, I want you to do what makes you happy. Or, you know, and would also probably, like, improve your life a little bit. Whether that's working out or getting a hobby or not asking me if the stream has started when the stream has obviously been going for 3 or 4 hours. You know, stuff of that ilk. I gotta be honest, I did get a little spooked as we came down here. I'm glad we got it to work, but I was starting to lose a lot of HP around the cathedral. I got a little frightened, but it's okay. We should probably use the nail one time just to justify its existence in completeness. And it's done. Hey, for now, thanks for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. If you did, click the like button. Helps out a great deal. And of course, subscribe if you want to see more in the future. For now, thanks for watching. I'll see you next time. See you.